Hello friends, welcome to lecture number 39. In today's class, we will study about force on a current carrying conductor in a magnetic field. So here I have already taken a conductor whose length is L. So basically L is the length of the conductor. Length of the conductor. Okay. And what is A? A is the area of the conductor. Area of the conductor, and here the magnetic field is into the plane of the paper, and the current direction also I have shown. This is the direction of the current. Okay, now now if I consider a single charge, then that single charge which is present in the conductor, it will experience a Lorentz force. Okay, so you can write here, for a single charge in the conductor the force is the Lorentz force. Okay, and what will be it? It will be, I am denoting it as small f just to indicate that it is for the single charge. F is equal to q Vd cross B. So this we have read from Lorentz force. Now what is this Vd? Vd is the drift velocity of the charge which is moving inside the conductor, because from the very beginning of this chapter we have understood that all the charges are going to move in the conductor with a common velocity, that is the drift velocity. Okay. Now I would like to introduce two terms. What is it? One is capital N, and this capital N is nothing but small n into volume. Now what is this small n? This small n is the number of free charge carrier per unit volume. Okay, so from this you all would have made out that capital N is the total number of charge carriers in the conductor. Okay, conductor. Now what will be the volume of this conductor? Length into the area. So this capital N will be is equal to small n into area into length of the conductor. Okay, followed. Now this is the Lorentz force due to a single charge. But how many charges are there in the conductor? Capital N number of charges are there. Okay, then what will be the total force on the conductor? Then we'll find out total force on the conductor. How much it will be? It will be denoted by capital F. It is equal to capital N into Q Vd vector cross B. Okay. Now what is capital N? N is nothing but small n, A L Q Vd cross B. Okay. Now if you remember, when we try to derive an expression for the current, N, then you will have NAQVD. What is it? It is current. So now I can write this as I L vector cross B vector. Okay, where I L vector represents a current. It represents a current element vector in the direction of current. Okay, so my L will be always in the direction of the current, therefore L is having a vector sign, and where I is equals to your NAQVD, which we have already found out in chapter in the beginning of the chapter we have found out. Okay, so finally what I can make out, I can finally make out my F in general. I can write in general your F vector is equal to I L cross B. Okay, now if you could make out, I have already told in the beginning of this chapter that all the formulas which will be derived in this magnetism chapter, everywhere we will find cross product, and we can easily find out the direction by using your right hand thumb rule. Okay, so F vector will be I L cross B, and the direction of the force will be your using right hand thumb rule you can find out. Okay, apart from from this expression, we had got few things which we should note, which will be important and which will be required for us while solving problems. The first point, if theta is equal to 0 degree or 180 degree, theta is equal to 0 degree or 180 degree, what will happen to the force? Because cross product means sin theta, sin 0 is 0, so force will be 0. That means no force will be falling on the conductor. So I can make a statement here, that is, a current carrying conductor placed parallel to the direction of magnetic field doesn't experience any force. Okay, this is the first thing which we have got. Second, if theta is equal to 90 degree, that means the current carrying conductor is perpendicular to the magnetic field. At that point of time, my F will be ILB, which is the maximum force. Okay, whenever the conductor is perpendicular to the magnetic field, it experiences a maximum force. And the third thing is, how can we determine the direction? The direction of the force can be determined from two two laws. First one, your right hand thumb rule, which you already know, thumb rule. Okay, so what we can get, we'll find out using right hand thumb rule. We'll find out the direction of the force. Okay, and the next one, which comes for a 1 mark question, that is your Fleming's left hand rule. Okay, so these are the two rules by which we can easily find out the direction of the force. Okay, now right hand thumb rule you all are acquainted with, because I've already shown A cross B is equal to C. How we have found out, we can find out that. Okay, and I'll do some problems related to it also. Now this Fleming's left hand rule, okay, you can apply this, and moreover this comes for a 1 mark question, that what is your Fleming's left hand rule. So let's write what the definition of Fleming's left hand rule. Okay, so what does this rule tells? This tells that stretch the thumb and the first two fingers of the left hand in the direction of the magnetic field, comma, your central finger in the direction of current. Okay, then the thumb gives the direction of the force on the conductor. Okay, This comes for 1 mark. Okay, so this is your Fleming's left hand rule. Followed? This is the definition of your Fleming's left hand rule. Now, once you have understood what is the force experienced by the conductor, let us find out do some questions which will enhance your ability how to find out the direction. Okay, so let us go for some questions. Fine. First one. Here the magnetic field which is given to us, it is dot. Dot means away from the plane of the paper. Okay, coming out of the plane of the paper. Dot is given. This is the magnetic field, right? And a conductor is placed in this manner, where the current goes in this fashion. This is the direction of the current. Okay, I have told you current direction and the length of the conductor, they will be in the same direction. So you take take your right hand, extend all your 4 fingers in the direction of the current, and curl all your 4 fingers in the direction of the magnetic field, and you can see the force will be in which direction? The force will be in this direction. Okay, this is the direction of the force. So this is how you can calculate. Okay, let us go for the second example. In the second example, we find here the magnetic field is something like this. Parallel uniform magnetic fields are placed in this fashion. Okay, these are the magnetic field direction, and it is up. Then what about the current? Current is dot. That means what? Current is above the plane of the paper. So you extend all your fingers above the plane of the paper and curl the 4 fingers towards the direction of the magnetic field. Where is the thumb direction? The thumb direction will be towards the left, and that will give you the direction of the force. I hope this is easier to find the direction of the force. Okay, same right hand thumb rule, A cross B is equal to C. Using that principle we can do. Let us try another one. Let us go for the third. In the third one, here the magnetic field is cross. Cross means it is into the plane of the paper. Magnetic field is into the plane of the paper. Okay, and what about the direction of the current? Current is in this direction. Okay, this is the direction of current. Then what will be the direction of the force? We know that we have to take the right hand and we'll extend all the 4 fingers in the direction of the current, and then curl all the 4 fingers in the direction of the magnetic field, and you see the thumb is in which direction? It is in this direction. Okay, this will be the direction of the force. Okay, now let us find out what is the magnitude of the force. Let us do a problem where we need to find out the magnitude of the force. So the fourth question is, here what happened? We are having the magnetic field cross. Here the magnetic field is cross into the plane of the paper. Okay, then there is a current carrying conductor, and the conductor is in the shape of a semicircle. It's something like this. Okay, and the current is in this direction. This is the direction of the current, and the radius of the semicircle is R. This is R. Okay, OR is the radius, R is the radius. Followed? Just 1 second, I'll draw it again. Okay, fine. So this is the direction of the current. Current is in this direction. Okay, and this is the magnetic field into the plane of the paper. Followed? Now you have to find out what is the force on this magnitude as well as direction. You have to find out due to the current carrying conductor, what is the force. Okay, so for that what we'll do is, we will take a very small current carrying element. Let us consider this as the current carrying element dl. Followed? And this dl will subtend an angle at the center d theta. It subtends an angle d theta, and this dl is situated at an angle of theta from the base, and this is your r, radius of the semicircle. Okay, now this dl will experience a force in which direction? Using right hand thumb rule, you can easily find out. It will experience a force in this direction, df. Now this df can be resolved into 2 components. I resolve this df into 2 components. Okay, this will be theta, and this will be your df cos theta, and this will be your df sin theta. Now, if I consider a dl element there, exactly opposite to that, am I going to have another dl component, yes or no? It is quite obvious I will have another component dl there. Okay, suppose exactly opposite I get it here. Followed? So it is quite obvious your df will be along this direction. This df will be along this direction. This will be the direction of df. Okay, now what we'll see, again this one will be having one component, this one will have another component. Clear? So what we find here will be df sin theta, and here it will be df cos theta. Now you see here we will find what? This df cos theta component, the directions are opposite, so they will cancel out. Similarly, throughout the semicircle, you take whatever dl elements you take, everywhere there will be a cos component and sin component, and you will see all the cos components gets cancelled out, whereas the sin components remain. So we will see here df cos theta gets cancelled. All the dl cos theta components get cancelled. Okay, what about df sin theta component? Df sin theta component gets added up. Okay, now what is the arc, the thickness of the small arc? The thickness of the small arc, it is how much? Is r d theta. Okay, then my arc length, which is your dl, that will be how much? R d theta. Okay, then the force on that particular element will be df. Okay, and what it will be? It will be current I into dl b. Okay, that will be how much? I r d theta b. Okay, now what will be f net? F net will be integration. That means we have to add all the df sin theta components. So df sin theta components will be added from where? Theta has to go from 0 to pi. So 0 to pi. Okay. Now what is df? I r d theta b. So I is constant, r is constant, b is constant. So all of them will come out of the integration. What is left out? Sin theta d theta going from 0 to pi. So this will be your I r b. Sin theta integration is minus cos theta, and the limits will be from 0 to pi. So this will be a minus, I can take out, minus IRB cos 180 degree minus cos 0. Okay, this will be minus IRB cos 180 is minus 1, that will become minus 2. So minus plus, it will become 2 IRB. So F net will be 2 IRB. Okay, and what will be the direction? Direction will be perpendicularly up. Okay, it will be up. Followed. Moving to the fifth question. In the fifth question, we have, in the fifth one, we have again the magnetic field which is cross. That means it is into the plane of the paper. Into the plane of the paper. Followed. Magnetic field. Now how the current carrying conductor looks like? It is something like this. The current carrying conductor is a rectangular current carrying conductor of this shape. Okay, here. Now what is the direction of the current? Direction is, actually let us take it as a square. Don't take it as rectangle, take it as a square. So I am doing it again. Just 1 second. We'll take it as a square, whose sides are your A. All the sides are A. This is A, this is A, this is A, this is A. All the sides are A. Now what is the direction of the current? Current direction is this fashion. Followed. Now what is the F net? You have to calculate the F net here. Fine. You have to calculate the F net. Now if you consider, let me name it A, B, C, D. Now consider the AB portion. If AB portion you confirm, take the right hand thumb rule. Okay, you'll see the force is along this direction. Okay, Then for BC, the force will be along this direction. You can easily get it by using right hand thumb rule. Okay. Then DC will be along this and along this. You see, all the forces magnitude is same and the directions are opposite. So this one will cancel this one will cancel this one. So what is left out? F net will be how much? It will be 0. So for closed loop, for this closed loop, your F net is 0. Okay. So this is it for today's class. I hope everybody must have enjoyed it. Please do not forget to subscribe my channel. Any queries you have, you can mail me in the mail ID which is given below. Okay. Thank you for your kind patience.